today's episode of What in the Actual Fuck is Going On, we have a lot of shit that's happening, and I think that this all is a big distraction. Something's going on behind the scenes, and they don't want us to find out about it. So they keep throwing us stories like the government shutdown is coming. Yeah, it's actually coming. It's at the end of this month. That's when the deadline is up. It's tax time. We're fucked. We got ICE killing another person. That's big in the headlines right now. We got the military kidnapping the fucking Venezuelan president and his wife. They took possession of a fucking Russian oil tanker. The Chinese hackers have hacked into the U.S. Congressional Committee's emails, so they got access to all of that information. The fucking Justice Department or whoever is releasing these Epstein files, they're fucking teabagging us with this information. And we still haven't heard about those drones that came out of the ocean. Wasn't it like 50 drones that they claimed to have seen rise up out of the ocean and disperse? What happened to that?
First and foremost, before we get started, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rikah Kwadash, and double honors to those great millstones while I learned his truth, and also to those elect that is scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great and powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And the type D lesson is news and events, ICE shooting, possible government shutdown, war threats. So I like to say Shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope this helped you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So we seen the opening video that, the lady was talking about, all these different events that's constantly happening, one behind another, one rumor by one rumor after another rumor. So we seeing these things are constantly picking up. We seeing that tension is rising. We seeing uproars of the people. Also, we seeing a lot of different distractions, psyops, false flags event. It also could be a possible black swan event. So we seeing right now, the lady was talking about, this Minneapolis ICE shooting, that happened on yesterday. One lady was unalive. Also, she was shot in front of her 6-year-old son. So it's a lot of things that constantly happen. They shall be like madmen, sparing none. And also, we seeing that America is slowly becoming a police state or a military state. That's exactly what they want, left and right, so they can call these lockdown, martial law. So they're constantly putting the pieces into place. So right here, even though this young lady lost her life, could this have been another psyop? But we're gonna measure the time diligently, because we know Esau Edom, we know his playbook. And also in the news that it could be another possible government shutdown at the end of January. So we gonna measure the time diligently on that also. And also we still hearing about this Venezuela incident when the U.S. went down into Venezuela and captured President Maduro and his wife. So that's a lot of things constantly picking up. So we seeing nations arising against nations. A lot of things is constantly happening. One event behind another. That's what we constantly seeing. The war drums are constantly beating. Just like I say, we gonna see these things left and right. So we seeing these shootings. We seeing mass shootings also. So these things are constantly picking up. That's what they want. Order out of chaos. They'll bring forth the problem and they'll bring forth the solution. They want this NWO. We put it like that. We got to be very careful what we say now, because they're getting very, very tighter and tighter. So we're seeing right now in 2026 it's popping off. Everything is picking up very quickly. And also I was watching a lesson by Apostle Dahar of GMS. I watched the lesson by him say sometimes it takes years for something to happen. Now, say you can have something happening within days that just seem like, I can't, well, he put it in a way whereby now things are happening so quick that, like something that take 10 years is happening very quickly now. I put it like that. So we're seeing that the Lord is constantly accelerating time. We're seeing that these events are constantly happening left and right. So we're here. Things are at the door. So we're in that season, you know what I'm saying? When, the war drums are constantly beating all across the world. So, hey, man, the stage is set. So we constantly seeing these things. Whether this was a psyop, whether this was some type of false flag event. But one thing about it, we know it is all through the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So now let's just get a little bit of this news article. I have a few news articles. We're gonna start here first with the one by CNN. And one thing about it, we know that something big is getting ready to happen. All hell is getting ready to break loose. It says here 2 shot by federal agents in Portland. Protests erupt in Minneapolis over ICE shooting. So let's get a little bit of this report. So it's been in the news for the last 2 days. It says here, happening now. It's an outrage in Minneapolis. It said protesters are rallying a few blocks from the street, said, where an ICE agent fatally shot a Minneapolis woman yesterday. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has authorized the state National Guards to support local law enforcement after a day of demonstration in the Twin Cities. So right here, when something happened, this lady got unalive, and all of a sudden now, instead of him trying to get to the bottom of it, he want to call for more troops to come into Minneapolis. So we already know what this is all about. It's at total control to lock down everything. So we see it right now. They constantly coming with the same playbook. And also these Epstein file pretty much they got very quiet about that for right now. So we seeing what's going on left and right. They'll start something over here and they'll be doing something else somewhere else. So that's one thing about this devil. It's constantly getting busy. It says here, it said Portland shooting. In a separate incident, 2 people are hospitalized after they were shot by federal agents in Portland, Oregon. Said today, the city police chief acknowledged heightened emotions and tension around the country in the wake of the Minneapolis shooting and urged calm. So right here, we seeing right here, they trying to spark. This could spark these civil unrest throughout these cities in America, these major cities in America. We already know what happened in California. I think it was last year, and also Chicago. Now in Minneapolis, also it was an uproar in New York. So a lot of these things constantly picking up. They keep talking about these ICE patrol. So a lot of things are happening. So they shall not regard the king or princess. So we seeing right now that he's saying that this lady said she was trying to run over an ICE patrol, but the video didn't look that way. So we already knowing what they're trying to deem this as, self-defense. It says here federal and state officials at odds. Says state and local officials has disputed claims by ICE and the Trump administration that the Minneapolis shooting was done in self-defense. There we go. Said meanwhile, a state agency says it has been blocked from accessing key material, said to conduct a joint investigation of the shooting. So we'll stop it right here. So we seeing right now that they're not gonna let all this stuff come out, about what happened in this shooting. We already know that if this lady actually lost her life, we already know that this ICE patrolman, we know that he effed up. But one thing about it, saying that he did his job. Even DJ Donald Trump said, he did his job. She deserved to die. So we already know they're setting the stage, for this civil war. Exactly what's getting ready to happen. We already knowing that that is going to be a time of trouble that we've never seen before. Jacob's trouble. So now let's get this other news article I got one right here. We're just gonna read some of these titles about this government shutdown. It said this one here. We're not gonna go into none of these articles because this could just be a possibility. This one here by New York Magazine said odds are dropping for a January government shutdown. So right now they're saying it's very slim that he shut it down. And this one here is by New York Times. The House passes spending package before another shutdown deadline. So we're gonna see how that work out. And let's get one more. It says here, will there be, this one here by CBS 8. It says here, will there be another government shutdown? It said Congress has less than 1 month You know what I'm saying? Let's open it up. I might as well open it up. You don't need a half doing it. I read half of it. You know what I'm saying? Let me get off of that. Is it this one here says, will there be another government shutdown? Congress has less than 1 month to pass a new budget. So we're going to see if they're going to go back and forth, like the other one was the longest one, like I said, in history. So we're going to see how that plays out. We already knowing that, we read upon a tax season. So, a lot of people, may not get a tax return this year because we already know they come with all sorts of different laws and mandates they're constantly putting in play, left and right. And also we knowing about that Russian oil tanker that America had seized, and also Putin is going back and forth telling them to return it. So we're gonna see how they're doing. Nations are rising against nation, and also we're seeing that the war is constantly is increasing. World War III. We're seeing these things are lining up left and right. So let's get this last one here. It's another little one I got by news break. Then we're gonna get a quick preset when they got a few more videos, and we'll close out. And Salakia for all the moving around. Let's see, can I go back to it? There's always something happening. Let's see, can I go back to it? Let's see. Let's see. One moment. Let's see. Oh, man. I had one by news break. Let me see, can I get it? Might just pass it up, but I had another article. Let's see here. I might can pull it back up. One moment. I hate to not give you all the good info. Let's see here. I had it pulled up, but my phone always, when it get ready to bring out a lesson, man, that's the devil, man. But we're gonna find this right quick. It shouldn't take too long. I want y'all to see this one too. I try to give you everything I can give you through the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Let's see here. Let's go to the search deal here. I think I can pull it back up. And also right here, about this super flu is spreading across the states. So it's saying that, a lot of people are saying are very concerned. I got a sister that work in the medical field. She was talking about how this flu is very bad and said it's mixed with the flu, pneumonia, and also that C19. So a lot of that thing is happening. Says it's pretty bad. So, so you never know. It could be another pandemic. And also we know they can be coming with these hokey pokey. So we might pull that up too. Let's get this right quick. You know what I'm saying? This the spirit right here. Which one did I have? I had the one by see here, let's get this one here. Just gonna read the title. It says here, Trump on collision course with Putin after US seizes Russian flag oil tanker. So we seeing right now that America is constantly flexing their muscles. So this report here is by the Independent, right here in the news article here, by Independent Salakia. So right here we seeing one thing behind another. This man is flexing his muscle. He constantly, going places where he don't have any business going. He constantly, poking the bear. So right here, this could escalate into something else. We already know that Putin is already has demand that America return their oil tanker back to them. So we seeing right now that this devil is constantly clowning right now. But you guess what? He's getting ready to get tamed very soon. So we seeing these things are constantly picking up left and right. One event behind another. Trump on a collision course with Putin after U.S. seizes Russian flag oil tanker. Man, you know what, man? We can't hardly keep up with all these things. And I was gonna try to get this one. Let me see if I can go back out and get this one before we get out of here by this super flu. Let's get this one right quick. Might well get it, you know what I'm saying? It's it, man, I'll tell you. One thing behind another. So many articles, man. One thing behind another, man. We just, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Abishai, we can just keep bringing it out. Let's get one kind of recent. This one here was 2 weeks ago. It said super flu subclade K is spreading in these states. It's another one I want to get. We might just pass it up. Let's see. Man, let's try to get one more recent. So Illinois among states with rapid increase in flu as super variant spread. So, we're not gonna open this up because we already know how to get down with these guidelines. So we seeing right here that like you say, rumors of war, what I'm saying, earthquakes in diverse places, pestilence. These pestilence goes into what? Plagues and disease. So we seeing this right before our eyes. So we seeing things are happening, simultaneously. One thing behind another: war, famine, pestilence. Uproars of the people, an evil time. That's why we got to, seek the Lord, because right now we see that we are here. We're living in the last days. So now let's go here and get a quick precept. Let's go here to 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1 said, He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the sign pass, which I have told thee before. So that's one thing how we're doing, we knowing that we're here, we're measuring the time through the scripture, so we're using the scripture as a measuring rod, to see how close we are to the end and to our salvation, also to the second coming of our Lord and Savior and our great deliverer, which in fact is Yahushua and Mashiach. So we are very close. Verse 2 said, Then shall thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So the Lord is visiting the world which he made right now. And we're seeing all these different things are happening, one thing behind another. The Lord is coming. Verse 3 said, Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. So we're seeing what earthquakes in different places around the world pretty much every day. Uproar, in Israel, Iran, right here in our own backyard, everywhere, everything is tensed up, everything is ready to explode. Verse 4, civil unrest, civil war, sedition among men, insurrection. Verse 4 said, Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Verse 5, For like as all that is made in the world has a beginning and the end, and the end is manifest. So when you go into that word manifest, it goes into something that is what's being revealed, so it's being revealed right before our eyes that we are living in the end time, real time. So now let's go back to today's video, and after video we'll start the lesson, and I hope that you will get edified.
Okay, y'all hear me out. ICE agents kill a white 37-year-old U.S. citizen woman, in front of other American citizens with cell phones out, recording them with their body cameras, even if they didn't have them on. Our government officials, after watching the video that we saw and our president get on national TV and lie on this deceased victim and say it was her fault, that she deserved to die. She was in the wrong. We are in trouble as an American, as citizens of this country. Our government is now lying on American citizens when it comes to ICE. We have no protection. We are in trouble. And it is no longer our word against them. It is no longer, look at the tape, look at the video. They had it on tape, its own tape, and they still created a lie. What are we going to do? And they're still sticking to their story. There's only one thing we can do.
What the f? You just
already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bullshit. This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed. As soon as it happened and we learned of the incident, we had several priorities. The first, of course, was to get the victim to the hospital and to get care as soon as possible. And to the family, I'm so deeply sorry. There's nothing that I can say right now that's going to make you or your relatives or the friends of the victim feel any better. There were, I believe, 2 Minneapolis police officers that responded and were in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. The second was to get ICE off of the scene. There were dozens, if not hundreds, of ICE and federal officers that were there at the time. Having them there was only causing more chaos. Having them there was only making a difficult situation even more problematic, and one that, yes, they created themselves. There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis.
Russia has just threatened the United States. Washington is on maximum alert. A Russian oil tanker was seized by U.S. forces in the Arctic. In international waters, the ship was heading back to Russia. It was not, violating U.S. waters. The U.S. Navy detained the crew, and the White House press secretary confirmed everyone on board will be tried in the United States. Then came the warning from Moscow. Return the detained citizens immediately, or there will be severe consequences. The Speaker of the Russian Parliament openly suggested torpedo attacks, targets, United States Coast Guard vessels. A direct threat. Russian officials say Washington is acting with a sense of impunity, emboldened after the recent operation in Venezuela, pushing limits, testing red lines. Russia sent warships to escort the tanker back to its territory, but U.S. forces boarded the vessel anyway. Now, the risk is higher. Oil, hostages, navies facing each other in the Arctic. Was this a calculated move by Washington or a dangerous mistake? Because what comes next could change everything. Follow for the next updates.
So now let's start today's lesson. We'll start here first in 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 15. So we see it right now, the sword in their destruction draws nigh. So this is setting the stage for civil war, and also we seeing there's going to be a great uprising right here in our own backyard. We're going to see what happened with this ICE patrol shooting in Minneapolis. Also, it was a separate incident that happened in Portland. 2 other agents got shot in Portland after the one happened in Minnesota. So, this is exactly what they want. So this man, the governor, as soon as that happens, he gonna call in more military troops. So that's exactly what they trying to have is a police state. This is exactly what they want. It's order out of care, whether it was by design, whether it was a false flag event, or whether it was a psyop. And also we know about what's going on with the U.S. and Venezuela. Also with America constantly taking these tankers. It's a lot of conflicts are going on around the world. Let's start here. It says in 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 15. It said, for the sword in their destruction draws nigh. One people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. So they are setting the stage for what this civil unrest, civil war. And out about it, we know the modern day sword is the gun, all sorts of weaponry. So that's where we at right now. It's getting ready to be a bloodbath. They're setting the stage for that. That's what we're constantly seeing left and right. It's like you seen the movie Civil War or The Purge, Leave the World Behind. It's gonna be real time. Verse 16 said, For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So right here, it's going to be sedition, protesting, rioting. So we already know in the aftermath of that shooting. They was were protesting. It was rioting. But it's gonna lead into a looting. It's gonna be leading into one unaliving another. So these things that happen. And also they shall not regard their king nor prison, in the course of their acts shall stand in their power. So right here, the lady, she did not regard the ICE patrol. She's trying to pull off, and all of a sudden she caught 2 or 3 rounds and was unalive. So we seeing right now they shall not regard their kings or prince, not going to regard the police, they're not going to regard the law enforcement, the ICE patrol, not going to regard the military. It's going to be a lawless time. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go in the city and shall not be able, because of what? This damn red devil moving into what? The National Guard, ICE patrol, and also the UN. These UN troops gonna come in, so they're gonna set up these checkpoints. Also, they're gonna have these lockdown, martial law. So these things are coming into play because of what? These unrighteous decrees that they're getting ready to prescribe. Also, you're going to have that digital ID, and also that under your skin, we put it like that. So we coming upon these times, you know what I'm saying? So they can call for a lockdown. They can say martial law because, things are getting out of hand. So they're setting that stage for that. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Verse 18 said, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So that's what's getting ready to happen, because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed. That's where we at right now, when a lack of resources, no food, no water, can't get your medical supply, homelessness, a lot of things are getting ready to happen. People are getting ready to lose their mind. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because the lack of bread and great tribulation. So we already know if we come upon another government shutdown, they say possible. They're saying that it's very slim, but we're gonna wait and see by the end of January. And then like the last one, people was cracking up. So but they got their food stamp back. We're gonna see what happened this time. But we all know they are setting that stage. These things are getting ready to pop off. We already know that people are very tensed up. People are walking around, ready to do whatever. A lot of people right now are very don't trust the government, anymore. Very have a lot of uncertainties. A lot of people right now are very angry right now. So let's read this once again. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. So we seeing in that video, the man didn't have no pity upon that woman. He shot her in cold blood and said, hey, it was justified by DJ Donald Trump, and also I can't think of the other lady name, but they justified it, so we seeing right now, they constantly, just working iniquity each and every day. So that's exactly what they want to do, return to those glory days where they can just come and do anything and everything, gun people down in the streets like dogs. That's what we coming to. It's called what? Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation. It's going to be what? Great tribulation. So now let's go here to Isaiah chapter 19. Not meant to be a long lesson tonight. Let's go here to Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 2, straight to the point. And it says here, so I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight every one against his brother and every one against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. So that's exactly what we're seeing. The modern day Egyptians is the what? Americans. So we're seeing it's very tensed up. A lot of things are getting ready to happen. A lot of people right now, are ready, it's on the edge right now, so they're seeing, they can't trust the government. They can't trust law enforcement. You're seeing that what happened today. So things are constantly picking up. Things are constantly increasing. So it's going to be a time of trouble that we've never seen before. And also America is getting ready to become a third world country. And also America is getting ready to become a war zone. So that's exactly what they're setting the stage for. The Egyptian against the Egyptian, America against America, brothers against brother, city against city. It's going to be a lawless time. That's constantly what we constantly warning you about. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, we're here. We already knowing that they're getting ready to come after the people of color. Already started with the northern tribe. It's going to spill over into the southern tribe. Who will rise him up? So we already know that Jacob is going to get it popping very soon. So we at these. We right here, man. Let's go here to Psalm chapter 94, and we probably get one more. Psalm chapter 94. I got to give y'all government shutdown video in a minute. Let's go into Psalm chapter 94. And let's drop down to let's get to verse 16. We're going to drop down again. It said, who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Who? You know what I'm saying? The one standing up for the worker against the worker of iniquity is what? It's the prophet, the true believers of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. And also we seeing a lot of people, they seeing that, you know, all this injustice, all these unrighteous decrees that's coming out left and right. And one thing about it, we know that this man is getting more and more evil each and every day. You know, who would stand up against the workers of iniquity? You know, it's in the men of the Lord. You know, we're going to stand on our watch. And we're going to stay on fire for Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Verse 20 said, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee? Said, which frame is mischief by a law. So we already knowing right now that the guy, you know, he got all by that law, what? That self-defense law. You know, you see it right there, framing mischief with a law. You know, he did what he did. You know, everyone seen it on the camera, and all of a sudden they made it like, yeah, hey, this man he's innocent. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that was self-defense. She tried to kill him. So we seeing how these things are going. Verse 21 said, they gather themselves together against the souls of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. So we seeing that left and right. You know what I'm saying? You know, they constantly plotting against the just. You know what I'm saying? That lady right there, they said that she was a young so-called white woman, Edomite. But, you know, we're going to see, you know, we're not ignorant of Satan's device, but, you know, but one thing about it that we're going to constantly see these things pick up left and right, you know, and a lot of these things that they want to, since that went down, they might put out some type of law, a gun law or something. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see how this work out, but we already know that America is slowly turning into a police state. We seeing it each and every day. This man talking about ain't no one rioting, ain't nobody burning down no buildings, nothing, but all of a sudden you want to call in more troops. This is exactly what they want, because they know they get ready to bring forth this new digital society whereby it's going to be total control. You know what I'm saying? They want to bring that sea up. So we're not ignorant of Satan's device. So we seeing that we're here. It is at the door. So now let's go here to our last and final script. Let's go here to 1 Peter. Let's go into 1 Peter chapter 4, because you know the devil is like a roaring lion seeking who he may devour. So that's where we at right now. This devil is moving in warp speed right now, but the Lord said he will not be able to perform his enterprise. Let's go here. We'll close out here. 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 7. It says here, casting all your cares upon him, for he cares for you. Who cares for you? Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. You know, the Lord, you know what I'm saying, he is the way. You know what I'm saying? Also the Lord said, lean not on your own understanding, but trust and believe in him. Verse 8, it said, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary or your enemy, the devil, as a roaring lion, walks about seeking whom he may devour. So that's exactly what we're seeing right now. This man here, he's getting ready to come down. What we're seeing, he's coming down with great wrath. When you go into that where the devil goes into a diabolo, someone that is a false accuser, someone that is slanderous, someone that's come with a lot of lies and deceits, you know. So, but one thing about it, the Lord is constantly shedding light on this red devil. That's why you got to have a sober mindset. And also you got to be vigilant. Vigilant goes into be watchful. That's why the Lord said watch. It said because your adversary, the enemy. And a lot of people they think they don't have any enemy. The Lord loves everyone. Everyone can be saved, but you're in for a rude awakening. You can read back that in Psalm chapter, I think 83, or 82 chapter. You can read about that, how they was in confederacy, against us to keep us down as a nation. But the Lord is turning the tables. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing that the writing is on the wall. And right now, this devil right now, he's getting ready to resort to that sword. So we're seeing right now that, he's constantly slowly turning America into a police state. Also, we seeing that he's getting ready to come with these Tartarian laws, these harsh laws, these draconian laws. And also, we seeing that this man is slowly becoming a dictator, Nero. You know what I'm saying? He reincarnated. So that's what we constantly seeing left and right. So we seeing that all sorts of events are happening, distractions, false flags events. You know what I'm saying? Could they be false flags? Could it be crisis actors? But one thing about it, we're gonna constantly measure the time diligently each and every day. So we're seeing right now that it could be a possible government shutdown, and also we're gonna see how things fan with this so-called Minneapolis ICE shooting up there, when one person was unalive, and also what's going on in Portland. We're going to see if something else pop off behind this. Order out of chaos. This is exactly what they want. They constantly bringing it left and right, and this man is moving in warp speed. The devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath. So watch, pray, and be sober. Because one thing about it, the Lord is getting ready to show up and show out. So we're seeing right now, we're in these times whereby things can pop off at any given moment. We're in these times in season. You know what I'm saying? The birth pain, we're seeing it happening with our own eyes. So the title of the day lesson, once again, is news and events. ICE shooting, possible government shutdown, war threats. So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.